The skies over Gaza have turned black with smoke from burning tyres every Friday for months now. Israeli army snipers and other troops have killed around 140 Palestinians since the weekly protests started in March. Thousands of others have been injured. Protesters say they'll continue to fly kites and balloons carrying petrol bombs and burning rags across the border until Israel lifts its 12-year siege of Gaza. Israel says fires started by the protesters have destroyed large areas of farmland and crops. This protester, who insisted we hide his identity, says life in Gaza has become so unbearable, he and his friends are determined to force change.
Our aim is to end this siege completely. The situation in Gaza is unbearable. Often no electricity, not enough medicine, no good life, unemployment. There's no future for young people here. We use simple materials like the incendiary balloons to protest. This is the Palestinian way.
So what would it take for Israel to begin to lift the siege on Gaza and potentially end the protests? Some experts say the solution has a lot to do with ending rivalry between Palestinian political factions. Israel began its air, land and sea blockade on Gaza in 2007 when Hamas took control here. Now, there are some analysts that say that unless there is reconciliation between Hamas and Fatah and a unity government is formed, then Israel's siege and the violence between Hamas and Israel will continue. Repeated Egyptian efforts to broker a reconciliation deal between Hamas and Fatah have failed. The refusal by Hamas to hand control of Gaza's internal security to the Fatah-dominated Palestinian Authority is a main sticking point. Another involves paying the salaries of 20,000 Hamas employees. Hamas has reportedly accepted the latest Egyptian proposal and is waiting for Fatah to respond.
We need to talk about ceasefire, Palestinian reconciliation, election within the Palestinian society, making fundamental political reform, encouraging Hamas to be part of the legitimate Palestinian political system. This is how we reach a final status settlement, and Israel should encourage this.
Some Israeli politicians have called for a full-blown military offensive against Hamas to stop the kites and balloons. Hamas says young Palestinians have every right to protest against the blockade using what it calls peaceful means. A committee representing all political factions in Gaza has called on Palestinians to protest again on Friday, the 17th week in a row. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera, Gaza.